What's up, everybody? Welcome to Talkin Cinema with Mike. During this podcast, I talk about the magic of film with a special guest, and we break down what we particularly enjoyed about the movie. We go from acting and writing to cinematography and film editing. My dear friend Ann Morrison returns this week, and we continue our conversation of the film Don't Look Up. But this time, we will be discussing it from the cinematography point of view. So, let's get started.
So, what I love about the assignment that you gave me about going back this time, looking at the cinematography or the DP, the direction of photography stuff, um, it really makes you appreciate the film even better than the first time I saw it. So every time you give me an assignment to look at something different, I get more out of the film, which is great. And I would advise everybody, if they like a film, because they might have a better appreciation once they understand the making of it. So I would stop the film every once in a while when I saw something that I found fascinating, and then go online to see him talk or read something about what he had to say about that. And then I got fascinated that he liked to film on film opposed to digital when he can, because he likes the quality of it. He likes working with it, and he likes the coloring of it. And the grain that he can deal with opposed to the digital. Digital works for some things, but for this particular thing, because he wanted to tell the story in so many different ways. Like since the story was about looking at the, the world of the people and then looking at their devices. So there was times that he would use this graphic, he would actually get people to send him stuff from his phone. Or when they went to the TV studio, he really wanted to use those kinds of cameras to get that kind of a quality, so that you could tell when you know that, you can tell when they're on set and when they're not on set, because then he'll either go back to film or he'll go into another quality that tells the story of where they are. I love that. And so when he went to the TV station, the TV studio, the colors were very exaggerated. And he also did that deliberately, which I thought was fascinating. So you really got that contrast. So that when they flipped back to using film again, like when they were zooming in on her face being all stressed out from the side, that went back into film opposed to what we're supposed to see on the TV. That was great.
Yeah.
And then he sent. I noticed that when he goes around the world and you see those were all filmed from people's phones, but it was so
Yeah.
edited together that you as a viewer weren't aware of all that happening unless you were to really pinpoint and focus on all that. That was
Yeah.
amazing. Um, and then because of film, um, his use of lighting is a little more intense. I mean, he can play with lighting in a little bit different way than he has to when he works with digital. So those are things he has to keep in mind when he's working with the director, figuring out how to tell that story. So I like really good DPs because they get the idea that yes, they're an artist because they're working with film or they're working with the photography. Um,
Yep.
and then opposed, so it's a real, you have to be an artist to do that, but he also has to be a really good storyteller, and so he has to really be in sync with what the director's larger vision is so that he can get all those wonderful details together. That's really
Yep.
cool.
Talking Cinema with Mike, brought to you by Nike Shoes. Hey guys, a comet is heading towards our planet, and we gotta run as fast as we can to avoid getting hit by it. Avoid that tragedy by wearing Nike shoes. That's right, Nike shoes. They'll protect you at all costs with their special swiftness. After all, Nike was the Greek goddess of victory, so you'll be a winner by wearing them. Nike shoes, here to protect you from natural disasters.
Like when he was with Peter, the Bash uh, mogul high guy, and the first time we meet him, it's on film. But because of that, I love his use of dramatic lighting. Because he wanted to give that effect of the dramas that they have when they have those presentations. He really manipulated
Yeah.
it. Of course, then in the back screen is filmed just like you would if you were in that play, so it would be that kind of digital quality. So great use. And then because of the film, and I guess they do it on digital too, but I was really paying attention how he was really uh, making the audience know exactly where they're supposed to focus at every moment. He was controlling where you were going. So he will have the main character in focus and everybody is out of focus. And then he will drop them out of focus and make the people in the background focus because he wants you to pay attention to their reaction. And I noticed when
Yeah.
I noticed how often he was using that, and it's so subtle that you're not being aware that that's what he's doing, but he's helping you all along the way of where you need to go in the storytelling. I love that. He
Yeah.
also used a lot of different kinds of camera setups, but they also filmed this during COVID, so that was a big problem right there. Everybody had to be in certain
Yep.
bubbles, and then when he had their extras, the extras had to be in bubbles, so they had to use different groups of extras for different things. So sometimes, if I would love to go back and watch the film again, just to watch the extras, because the extras sometimes were used in different scenes because they couldn't use a lot of extras because of COVID. They had to keep everybody that was in the bubble. So there might be someone in, a background scene in uh, the Washington Post, um, but then you'll see them again in the TV station. Of course, you don't know that because they're in a different costume and they're placed differently. But they had to do that, and that's something they had to be very conscious of. So there's a part of me wants to go back this week and watch only the outside people, only not the main characters, but just everybody around.
No.
It'd be a lot of fun. Um, I also loved. I'm not letting you asking me any questions. I'm just going. Let me shut up and let you ask me questions. I'm great for interviewers because I just
Um,
love talking.
like, do you really felt like the cinematography really captured the moment of every scene in the film?
I think so. I really do. I think he was brilliant with that. Now, of course, the real star of all that is the editor. I mean, that is a
Right.
magnificent job. You can make a film really bad by how badly it's edited. And so he had to be aware, knowing that this is going to be the director's vision, was to be able to do lots of little cuts because that's his quality that he likes. He likes to go from, and we saw that even I went back and I had to go see Big Short again. I know I'd seen it a while back, but to see it again after we had our conversation, to see that yeah, he does have a style, um, and I really appreciated
Of
that.
editing, yeah.
you know, and how he likes things to be set up, or that storytelling where all of a sudden you could tell when he goes from a wide version of normal filming opposed to where he wants to get really close because he's got. That's the other thing that this Linus said that he likes, focusing on when he wants to get the real drama, the emotional part. He will go zoom right in on that person's face. And I
Yeah,
saw
that's what they did with the Big Short. Like during the Big Short, when like the film was about like the housing market crash, and Adam McKay he took a bunch of clips together to have them edited, and they were basically showing like how the economy was like first like suddenly like being really well, and then they showed it like how it was collapsing at the time.
right. Exactly. So he's always making you aware of where we are all the time. You know, the superficial world and the world that really. It's a wonderful satire. They're both great satires, but this is a great satire because it's
Did you
just.
also see Vice?
I haven't seen Vice yet. I have to go back and see if I can find Vice. I haven't seen Vice yet. At least I don't think I have. What's the premise of Vice again?
It's about Dick Cheney, and he was played by Christian Bale.
No, I did miss that. I will have to go look for that next. Okay. All right. That'll be the next thing I have to see. Maybe that's my next homework assignment. I don't know. And I don't. Hopefully, it's so I can stream it. That's the other issue. Um, but yeah. So I thought to answer your question, yeah, I thought he was brilliant at using the cinematography to really tell the story from moment to moment to moment, and being very aware that he was going to also be dealing with an editor. So he had to give lots of interesting shots, I guess he also had different cameras going on at different points because he wanted to make sure if an actor was doing an improv thing, he wanted to make sure they could use that, the editor could use it if he needed it.
So, guys, after watching Don't Look Up, it made me think of horrible events happening in the world today. One of those horrible events has been the ongoing struggle for the people of the Ukraine. There have been people suffering and dying and lacking food, shelter, and medical care. This film reminded me of the Ukraine because of the suffering the people there have endured. In the film, the world was starting to suffer because of an incoming comet heading towards our dear planet Earth. Disasters like this can really make people feel scared and think that the world is going to end. But you can help by logging on to donate.amnestyusa.org and giving food, shelter, and other essential necessities to those in desperate need of care. Every little bit helps. Thank you.
Let's talk about the dinner table.
What did you make of the dinner table scene?
I love the dinner table, but what I really was I noticed it when I first watched it. But because I had to watch the cinematography, that was my assignment. I really appreciated where all of a sudden they're talking and then it goes into like a photograph of the person. Because he really wants you to take the time to focus and take a moment to lock in the moment, the reality of what's really happening. It gives that to the audience.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And then that wonderful device of freezing on, oh gosh, I forgot the name of the character. The African American man who plays Ted. That's Ted. He's drinking or he's eating the cake and it freezes on him, and then we start to watch everything collapse behind him as it's approaching him. Same with her too. She's now frozen in a photograph, but we're slowly seeing the walls crumbling and everything start to approach, which is really kind of cool. That's a great device. It really punctuated emotionally what was going on there.
Well, guys, that's all the time we have for today. Tune in next week where we talk to Huck Walton from Accidental Jacket Entertainment, where we discuss how the aspects of sound contribute to filmmaking. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good day. Bye.